Yeah, we back, baby. Cha-ching! Welcome back. Well, this is actually the inaugural episode of Qwality Bets, aka Good If It Goes Better. I am here with my partner in crime, ready to rob the book. My boy Shayne, what's happening?
Yes, sir, baby. Books are ready to go. Credit limits raised. Football season's here. Time to fire.
Let's get it, baby. And we got a guest on the pod today, man. Part of the Quality Sports team, my boy PJ. What's happening, P?
What's good? What's good? I've been out of the loop for a while. Good to get back. Always enjoy the bet show, so I want to add a little input for today.
Yes, sir. So, man, we're gonna go. We're gonna get right into it, man. Today we're gonna start with some divisional previews from the NFL. NFL back, baby. Preseason. Shout out to the 2-0 Bears. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a huddle with Jay Fields in there right now. You dig? We blowing motherfuckers out and everything. So But before we get started, man, we're going to today we're going to discuss AFC East, NFC East. So we're going to talk about it from a betting perspective today. We did talk about some stuff on the Quality Sports podcast, more in depth, but today we're just keeping it straight to the betting. So, Quan, you want to go ahead and throw that graphic up, and we'll get into the divisional previews on the east side of the country. So first, we start with the AFC East. So we got win totals, we got divisional odds to win the division, to win the AFC, and also to win the Super Bowl. As y'all can see, Buffalo is the favorite in this division, and they're one of the heavy favorites right now to win it all at plus 600. So, fellas, tell me what y'all think about these odds y'all see in front of us. Do we have any surprises? Is there anything to talk about? Probably mostly the win totals. Tell me what y'all like.
I mean, Buffalo should just run away with this division, right? Like outside of a Josh Allen season-ending injury, I can't see any way that this division's even really competitive. We know the Jets are going to be terrible. I am not buying any of the Miami hype at all. I don't think most people are. I mean, 7.5, that's still a low total. They're still expected to be under 500. Tyreek Hill getting traded there just does not move the needle for me as far as wins and losses go. Tua is still your quarterback. I'm not a believer in like a guy like even like Devontae Adams going to the Raiders and that equaling more wins. I'm not buying that at all. And I'm definitely not buying Tyreek Hill coming and this is all of a sudden like, oh, this was the missing piece for this Miami team. No, they don't have a quarterback. It's plain and simple. Until they can put a quarterback there, like they're just not going to be any type of threat. Not only are they going to be a threat to Buffalo, I don't see them really contend, even though there's the extra wild card team now. I don't really see them contending even for a wild card. I can't buy anything there. And even like New England, man, that's just another team that, to me, last year they overachieved. Like they made the playoffs, but then they just got waxed by Buffalo. Like that was their absolute ceiling. I don't know. Like they don't do it for me. They really don't. I think like Mac Jones is basically, it's not going to get any much better, right? He is who he is. So I don't see how any of those three teams is competing with Buffalo. I think Buffalo's the best team in the league. I think if I had to pick a team that's going to win the Super Bowl, give me Buffalo. It's the best roster. Outside of a Josh Allen injury, I just don't see how this division is even remotely competitive.
Okay. PJ, any thoughts, brother?
I actually agree with every word that Shayne said. Outside of Mac Jones, I think he can take another step in year two. I mean, we saw him handcuffed a little bit as a rookie. New England can run the football. They can play some defense. So I'm more shocked to see that they share the same amount of win total as Miami. I would believe that they're a game or two better than them. So I would definitely take the over on the win total. But as far as Buffalo, outside of a Josh Allen injury, I believe they're the best team in the league. And I think this is a Josh Allen MVP type, Super Bowl run type season for them. If everything comes together and they can stay healthy, definitely on defense.
To your point about Miami, though, like they do have a nice roster, right? I don't really. You would know more about the coach than me, McDaniel, or what the fuck his name is. And I don't know. Like there was just weird stuff there last year with the whole Brian Flores thing. I don't know. I mean, they do have a nice roster, but they don't even have a quarterback that's like mediocre. You know, someone that maybe they can, the pieces around him can make him look better than what he is. Like I mean, Tyreek Hill and Waddle, that on paper, that's one of the best receiving duos in the league, right? But I don't know. You're only as good as your quarterback. And I'm just not – this team is just not, to me, a threat at all to Buffalo in the division and probably not even for the Wild. Like their ceiling is probably like 8-9, maybe 9-8, something like that. But that's to me, that's best case scenario.
The thing about that too, that when I go back to New England, that I'm kind of confused at is the doofus they brought back from the Lions. Like I've always known him to be a defensive coach, and they're talking about that he may call plays this year. Like, somebody's got to explain that one to me. Quan might know. Quan, that was his head coach for a few years, but I've never known him to call offensive plays, and they're talking about he's going to be Mac Jones' offensive coordinator and an all-important second year in the league. That could play into why there's not a lot of money or love being thrown New England's way this year. But I'm sure losing Josh McDaniels is a huge. That's huge. So I get that piece.
Where's the talent on the offensive side of the ball in New England? Like it's Nelson Aguilar, Hunter Henry. I mean, there's just nothing that moves the needle for me there. I think they overachieved last year. And to me, I don't think they're making the playoffs. I like some unders on New England. And I even got a take too. Would you be surprised if, say, New England goes, I don't know, 7-10, 8-9, don't make the playoffs, and Belichick just says, you know what, I'm good, I'm done. That's a wrap. What else is there for me to do? Yeah. Walk off in the sunset, just dip.
Who leaves first, Belichick or Popovich? They both kind of in the same position right now, right? Like,
ooh, that's a good one.
I think
first
Pop,
get with Miami, but his ass might find a reason to stay.
I think Pop's at the place where he's at no point of return. Like he's never going back to the playoff. They will never be a good team again. And then you just lose Murray. You just lose your all-star player.
I like that take, Shayne. We'll see, man. I don't know. I like the Patriots. I'm actually on that over 7.5. So that'll be really my take here. But this is probably going to be a runaway division. Like you said, Shayne, they got to take Josh Allen and bust his knee up or something like that. And we don't want to see that. So, yeah, this is pretty much going to be a runaway. It's really more so really at that top line, man, whether you want the Bills to win AFC and Super Bowl. And, I got them winning the division, but we'll talk on one of the other episodes about who I'm getting if y'all don't know by now.
I can't recommend a bet at those prices in the NFL. Even if you're the best team in the league, you still need so much shit to go right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You need breaks to go your way. You need to stay healthy. You need so much stuff to go right that I just cannot recommend a bet at 6-1 on Buffalo to win the Super Bowl. I cannot do that. And I do believe, and like I said, if you're asking me right now who do I think is going to win the Super Bowl, I'll go Buffalo. I think they're the best team in the league. But at that price, no way. Absolutely not.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll move on to the NFC East, where I'm at right now. So we got the NFC leads, baby. Once again, another year. No more 8-8s and heartbreaks because it's a 17 game season. They got Dallas at 9.5, Eagles at the same 9.5, the Commanders at 7.5, and then the Giants 6.5. So, guys, what y'all think? Who y'all going with? Take the division. Tell me about the win totals, and can any of these teams win the NFC or the Super Bowl?
Prentice, go ahead.
I think I said this in our group chat the other day. I think Ron Rivera is the first. He's the first coach fired, and I can see the under on the win total. I mean, he just fired an assistant that he's had for years, his defensive line coach. Out of the blue the other day. They didn't come out and say why they fired him, but when you got a defensive line with multiple first-round draft picks on it, and you're supposed to be molding these guys, and they're supposed to be the anchor of the team, and you fire this coach during training camp it's a bad sign. I think it's a bad omen for them. I think they're going to lose a lot of games. Carson Wentz is, I think if you didn't see the truth last year, you're gonna see a little bit more this year. I can see them. I can definitely see them winning like 3 or 4 games. He gets fired midway through the season. But as far as Super Bowl or any type of serious contender out of this division, I don't see it.
Shayne?
I'm buying all the Eagles. I'm buying everything about the Eagles. Everything. Okay, this division sucks, right? You got 2 bad teams in the Giants and Washington. We know that. There's nothing that makes you think like this could be like a surprise team, right? I'm selling Dallas. Look, that's all of a sudden a receiving core that last year was very good. So now all of a sudden it's bad. I mean, CeeDee Lamb's very good. We know that. But they lost Gallup to an injury. They traded Amari Cooper. They still want to – and I'm a Dak Prescott fan, don't get me wrong. But, like, there's still some weird identity thing where they want to, like, give Zeke Elliott the ball just to justify how much money they paid him. And I said the day that happened in our chat, absolutely horrific contract. It was eventually going to bite them in the ass. I said it, and it's horrible. I mean, he's not good anymore. He's just not. He's a plotting running back. He's just not. This is what happens to running backs in the NFL. I've said Tony Pollard is a more complete back than Ezekiel Elliott in 2022. I don't even think that's a hot take. I think that's just a fact. They're horribly coached. We know that. Last year they had like Diggs, like how many turnovers, like how many like luck box interceptions did they get? Like how many fortunate, turnovers did that defense get? Like those things, they don't repeat themselves. I'm just not high on this. Like Dak Prescott is very good. I'm a fan of his. I like him a lot more than people do. Like he's going to put up good numbers, even with a questionable supporting cast. But to me, Philadelphia is just a much more complete team. They picked up A.J. Brown to go along with Devontae Smith, the second-year receiver we think is going to be good. Really good tight end in Dallas Goedert. Arguably the best offensive line in the league. Solid running backs group. Good defense, right? Not a great defense, but a good defense. I'm a Jalen Hurts guy. I don't think you need Jalen Hurts to be Patrick Mahomes for this team to have success. To me, this is the ultimate case of, all right, look around the rest of the NFC. The favorite right now is Tampa. We don't know what is going on with Tom Brady. It could be absolutely nothing. He could come back next week, but even if he does, that's a 45-year-old quarterback that could just drop off at any moment, right? And there's other issues with that team from an injury standpoint. Then you look at the Rams. Okay, still good, but repeating just does not happen in the NFL. Then you look at Green Bay. We know they're going to win the division. They know they're going to be a top 3 seed. But until we actually see this group get over the hump and make the Super Bowl, you're going to call them playoff frauds. I'm high on San Francisco, but again, quarterback that we still don't know much about. Right? I'd be more inclined to bet that Lance is going to be good than he's going to not be good. But the rest of the NFC is just okay. So why not? Why not take a shot on Philadelphia 30-1? There's a lot to like there. I mean, this is, to me, like it. I think, Quan, put up those the division odds again? Plus 170? Yeah, sure. Put me down as Eagles plus 170 to win the division. I don't see why Dallas is favored over that. I know it's small, but that just doesn't make sense to me. Two bad teams that we know in Washington and the Giants that are not going to – there is zero reason to think that either one of those teams could be like sneaky, could be a surprise team, like on the rise, right? And then Dallas, there's a lot of reasons to buy Dallas taking a step down. I'm buying all Philly. Somebody play devil's advocate. Talk me out of that. What's there not to like about everything I just said?
You got this, Mike, or you want me to do it?
Nah, you got it.
The thing I'm concerned about is their offensive identity. Like, what are they looking to do as an offense going forward? Like the last few weeks of the season and even the playoffs. I know they got down early versus Tampa.
They traded for A.J. Brown. That's one of the best receivers in the league.
That's true, but are they really looking to be a team that's going to throw 35, 40 times a game with Jalen Hurts? They're not going to win the Super Bowl that way.
But do they have to?
Not going to get to the Super Bowl that way.
But do they have to?
That's what I'm saying. Well, that's my like I said. That's my question. I don't know if that's what they want to do offensively. What's their philosophy that they're going to try to go to on a week-to-week basis? So I think they got. I agree with. I think they got enough talent. I love that their odds to win the division. I think that's. I would lock that up. I wouldn't have no problem throwing money on for them to win the division, but. Super Bowl tough.
Hey, man! If you win the division, here's my thing: you win the division, you're getting at least one home game, right? At 30-1, you get a ticket to the dance. I'll take my chances. And I'm also, you guys know, I'm a schedule guy, right? So I'll look ahead and look at I like to see the better teams that they play. Where are the games? So here's some of the better teams that they play. Minnesota, they get it home. Pittsburgh, they get it home. The Packers, they get it home. The Titans, they get it home. The Saints, they get it home. So, some of the road games they have, like they're at the Bears, they're at the Texans, they're at the Cardinals. They're at the Lions. Just from a schedule, and I know this isn't foolproof to look ahead to the schedule right now because we know how much things change with injuries and just teams being better than we thought, teams being worse than we thought, etc. But there's a lot to like from a schedule perspective too. I understand Philly's been one of the more hyped teams by a lot of people, by a lot of the dipshit talking heads. I get it. I try and block that shit out, but I think the right ingredients are there for Philadelphia to be a strong regular season team, and who knows, playoffs, man. You can't predict playoff. It's a one game scenarios, right? Anything can happen. So just give me a division win, give me a ticket to the dance, give me at least one home game, and I'll take my shots with Philly 30-1.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you said, Dallas got that first place schedule. They got the Bucks at home and they got the Bengals at home. They got to play the Rams on the road. They probably lose all three of their games. So I just I don't really know how to justify it, and I'm not sold on the Eagles either. So I just feel like it's the Cowboys' division to lose. But I would, because then they play the Texans. Of course, they got the Giants and the Commanders twice. I can see them winning all those games.
Mike, to that point, so Dallas has to go to Green Bay, and there's no way that shit McCarthy's coming back to Lambeau and leaving with a win. No fucking way over my dead body. So they got to go to Green Bay, and they got to go to Minnesota. They got to play Tampa, who Philadelphia doesn't play. Philadelphia gets Minnesota and Green Bay at home. Where would you rather play? At Green Bay or host them? You know what I'm saying? Right. That stuff kind of matters when you're looking ahead to what we're doing right now. I think it counts for something. Not foolproof, but it counts for something.
No, it does. It does. And like I said, they got the Rams on the road, and the Rams are just a better team, and they're on the road. Nah, the Rams don't necessarily have the best home field, but it's not a home game. And the Cowboys are 7-2 on the road last year. I don't see them repeating that this year.
No. Well, they're not going to get – I'm sorry, Trayvon Diggs is not going to get tip. interceptions like every week. It's not going to happen again.
Hey,
That man's,
and he give us
what do we
the-
call him? Barbecue chicken. You saw that video yesterday with Keenan
I
Allen?
did when he had his back to the fucking quarterback the entire time. Never seen that. So, but yeah, I still got the Cowboys. When I can't. I'm just not sold on Philadelphia.
We might have to do some business. We might have to do a little business on a Philly Dallas head-to-head division wager.
We'll check back in.
We'll check in with that before the season starts.
All right. So we'll go to Super Bowl picks now. So Shayne, you up first.
I just
Same
said it.
team talking about.
You want who am I predicting to make the Super Bowl, or what play am I giving out? I'm giving out the Eagles 31 for all the reasons I just said. I love it. I'm a believer in Jalen Hurts. They made a big move in getting A.J. Brown. They drafted well. Jordan Davis about to wreak havoc on that D-line. They got arguably the best offensive line in the league. They got good young talent in Goddard and Devontae Smith. The ingredients are there for a Super Bowl run. Whether it happens or not, who knows? And this, when you bet a team 30-1, it's, you're obviously going to need a shitload of fortune to go your way, right? But I think I'm not gonna throw the lock out there. I'm not a tout, not Sugar Tout _6. But come January, they're going to be hosting a playoff game. I feel strongly that they're going to win the division.
All right. So next up, Quan, next graphic. What we got next? So here go my Super Bowl pick, man. Y'all already know. If you watch, and if you don't know, now you know. I'm pounding the Chiefs plus 1,000. Patrick Mahomes, man, he coming back. Y'all see him, man. Y'all know what it is. Yeah, they lost Tyreek Hill. I think the defense improved a little bit, and I think the defense of the Chiefs is like one of the more unspoken, because they give up a lot of points sometimes, but it'd be like the offense. I don't know if they just got the mentality that, hey, our offense gonna catch us back up. But what I will say is they came up short in the AFC Championship last year. I'm not necessarily putting that on the defense because the Bengals had a really, really good offense and everything just clicked for them. But I just think, man, when you got Mahomes under center, I can't bet against that. I believe they're third in the odds right now. And you're not gonna catch plus 1,000 by week 5, baby. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot more expensive to make your money on. So that's what I'm going with, man. I'm going with the Chiefs. We pounding the Chiefs, baby. So we'll talk more about them in our AFC West preview for sure, because that's gonna be a loaded division this year. But that's my Super Bowl pick, y'all. Chiefs plus 1,000, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook and other books across the network of gambling. So that's what I got. PJ, just give us your pick real quick. I'll throw the odds. I'll pull the odds up real quick.
I will say this first before I pick my team. I think this season, by far in the last maybe 6-7 years, feels to be the most wide open Super Bowl possibilities that I can remember. I don't think there's any true clear favorite like Buffalo at 650. What was it, 6 or 650? I still don't even feel remotely strong about it. With saying so, I am going to choose Buffalo versus the Rams to run it back in the Super Bowl. I'm gonna ride with. I'm gonna go with Buffalo to win it.
So plus 1,100. Y'all heard it here. PJ stamped it. LA Rams to run it back. So we'll check in. I'm sure our head guy in charge, Quan, loves that pick. So we'll go from there. And yeah, just about like the Super Bowl odds. So I got them up here. The Chargers at plus 1,400. I think that's interesting. They're the first team listed that has a team above them in their division. So I think that's interesting. And right behind them is the 49ers at plus 1,600. And again, the Rams are above them, your pick that you just made, Prentice. And then after that, we got Denver at plus 1,700, Baltimore at plus 2,000, and Dallas, as we just saw, at plus 2,000, kind of rounding out that like top 10. Outside of them, the Bengals are at plus 2,200, and with Deshaun Watson being out, man, I thought they would have a little bit more expensive price.
There's a lot to like about Baltimore. We're going to get to that, I know, when we do the AFC North stuff. But yeah, Baltimore. There's a lot of reasons to think that they're going to be right back in contention.
Yeah, Baltimore at plus 2,000. I guess I could justify that to win it all. But I mean, I don't know. You gonna do dump offs to Mark Andrews all year? Like, what we doing there? Like,
Bateman, give me all the Bateman. Give me all the Bateman overs.
All the Bateman overs.
All the Bateman overs. Give it to me.
Well, let's see if I can find that.
I mean, last year you got Lamar, dropping dimes to fucking Hollywood Brown. They can't catch the ball, and then wants to blame the system. They shipped his ass out.
Dog, what a disappointment, man. And then he was sending shots at Lamar too. Lamar was so happy for him to be on the team. They from the same hood, basically, and like.
Bro, there's a whole mixtape on Twitter of terrible Hollywood drops last year. I mean, it's nobody's trying to hear that bullshit.
Yeah.
Go have fun playing with Kyler Murray now, a fucking midget that's gonna run around in a circle and try and throw you the ball. Have fun.
All right, man. Yeah, gotta get off my guy, Kyler, man. I like Kyler.
He sucks.
I'm trying to find some Bateman price. I don't see none. One to lock in though that I like that we talked about a little bit was Deebo Samuel. So his receiving yards is at 925.5. Prentice, what you think about that? Because they're gonna be using him a lot this year, and so they use him as a rusher a lot. So I'm a little worried about taking that over. But I think 925 is definitely an attainable number. What you think about that?
Oh, easily. Easily. Shayne made a comment to me the other week about him being paid to be a I don't know if you called him a glorified running back, but Deebo finished in yards, I think top 6, top 7 in the league last year. In the last 4 weeks in the playoffs, I mean, he played a lot of tailback. He played a lot of motion and out of the backfield and stuff like that. So if they are committed to the style that he wants to play and he's going to be on the outside, I think 975 is easily attainable. He's talented enough. Yeah, I would lock that up. I think that's lock city. If Lance comes out and performs, and he's not looking for Kittle for every check down, and scared to do what is slinging that ball, but I don't see that happening. I think Deebo would easily surpass that number.
Bro, there's a lot of big play potential with Lance, man. Like I know I'm watching the 49ers Packers game last week, and I know preseason means nothing, whatever, but you can see like, man, there's going to be games where this dude is just like, dropping, like, you want to talk like from a fantasy perspective, he's going to be putting up numbers. Like, I think that's kind of what, I guess in a way, San Francisco's been missing, right? Like, I don't think the potential's there for San Francisco to not need dominant defense, a strong running game. Like, you have a potential now with a guy with Kyle Shanahan that can really get you over the top and make you legit scary. Those weapons, man, look at the weapons they got there. Even like Brandon Ayuk, man, that dude, that's a baller number 2 wide receiver.
He's gonna break out this year. I think he's primed for a huge season. Huge season. I'm really excited to see what he do this year.
Trey Lance's number for passing yards is 3,300.5. So
I don't know. I'm not. You're my props.
I could see that.
You're my props guy. I'm not a big props guy.
Yeah, And then I did find Bateman. Bateman 825.5 receiving.
Over. Fuck it. Even though I'm not a props guy, give me all the. If you find a Bateman over, I'm taking it. I don't care what the number is. I'm going full tout. I'm just going over.
I don't see nothing for Mark Andrews receiving, but they got receiving touchdowns. They don't have yards. They got him at 8.5 touchdowns. They got Bateman at 4.5 touchdowns.
All right. I do want to give my official Super Bowl pick. Jalen Hurts, Philadelphia. You already know they're representing the NFC, but they're not. They're going to lose a tough game to the team that last year was the best team and had 13 seconds and don't kick the fucking ball in the end zone against Patrick Mahomes, give Patrick Mahomes another chance. Buffalo Bills, they're going to get it done this year. Josh Allen stays healthy. Buffalo's a team to beat. There's no argument against them being the best team in football. There's just not.
Josh Allen's season total for passing yards is 4,320.5. So if he had that MVP year, everybody think he's gonna have, he should smash that.
He should.
Yeah.
He should. Again, Buffalo has nothing to worry about in the division. You want to compare like Buffalo and Kansas City. Yeah, I don't have any issue with your Kansas City pick, but look at Kansas City's division. Like if you want to play somewhat devil's advocate to that thing, they're probably going to have to go on the road. Like they're more likely than not, a Kansas City Buffalo game this year would be in Buffalo, just based off of how good that AFC West is now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Kansas City can't win that game, but
right.
Just from a pure numbers perspective.
Yeah, it make a difference. They probably gonna win the AFC regular season.
I would want a better price than that on Kansas City, even though they got Mahomes. Even though I don't think losing Tyreek Hill, they're not going to lose much. I think they're still going to be strong, like with Juju and MVS. Like that's, you can plug guys into that offense. But man, that's a tough fucking division.
That's probably the best price that you got on Kansas City, though. Probably, since all I need them to do is get to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just trying to play a little bit devil's advocate.
Nah, I hear you. And it's like, when have you ever seen preseason or shit? That's the best price you're gonna get is preseason. When have you seen it at plus 1,000? For Kansas City in the last three years.
Bro, we talked about this on the last pod. What's crazy? Just think about this for a quick second. The Raiders are, I think everybody agrees, the fourth team in that division, right? We have Kansas City over them, we have the Chargers over them, and we have Denver over them. The betting market does. I don't really think there's an argument against that. And this is their offensive core: Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller, and that's the worst team in a division.
And Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, like that's the worst. That's the worst teim in a division. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
I don't know how. I don't know how Denver gets more love than they do. I just
because Denver's got a good roster and they just added Russell Wilson. And
they didn't have a quarterback. That was what they was missing. They hadn't had a quarterback since Peyton Manning, and they had a fucking wide receiver start at quarterback 2 seasons ago. That's how bad it got over there, and they added one of the better quarterbacks in the league. And if they make that work, like, they're gonna be a dangerous team to see, especially towards the end of the season at Mile High.
Bro, those divisional games this year are gonna be just nasty.
That's gonna be dope. I'm glad the Chargers getting the love they getting. And then it's just like, I look at the Chargers kind of how I look at the 49ers. Like, one thing goes wrong and they're a shit team, but if everything goes right, they're a competitive ass team and they might be there in the end. That's how
what are the Chargers to win the Super Bowl? You said 14-1?
I think so. Let me pull it back up real quick.
I'll book that. Anybody who wants to make that bet, let me know. I'll book it. I will.
Yeah, 1,500.
That's a horrific price. I will book that in a heartbeat. in that division, and a team that has so far has had no success. Like, yeah, that's a horrific number. I can't believe somebody would bet that at 14-1. That's a terrible price.
I'm gonna go back to some props real quick before we move on. I'm gonna go back to the. So we got most defensive interceptions. J.C. Jackson is first at plus 600. Xavier Howard second at plus 600, and Trayvon Diggs, your boy Shayne, he third at plus 900. I think that's a fool's goal for the sports books. Like,
man, you're lighting money on fire making bets in that market. There's just no value on any of that. You are literally just throwing a fucking dart. Like Jason McIntyre on a Sunday morning looking at the NFL card, just throwing a fucking dart without a clue. Good luck. Have fun.
I just thought it was funny that he third, and like, I don't know, it's like he either gets an interception or he gives up a touchdown. That's not like a good place to be.
No.
It ain't nobody good to put your bread on. I'm gonna look at some of the quarterbacks in the AFC and the NFC West. Carson Wentz, they got him at 34.50 and a half yards. Not sure about that one.
Well, he's going to be thrown like this. See, like that's the thing. I mean, Wentz can put up decent numbers and still be terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like they're going to be down in all these games. They're going to have to throw the ball. It's just that's a weird team. You got Chase Young, man, and then, even you got McLaurin. Like there's guys that are some of the best in their position in the league on that team. And then it's just like, you traded for Carson Wentz.
You got let's see here. Jalen Hurts, same number, 34.50 over in the AFC East. Daniel Jones, same number, 34.50, NFC East. Dak Prescott, 42.50.
I'm looking. You know what I am looking forward to? You just mentioned Daniel Jones. I'm looking forward to the Daniel Jones versus Tua game, and when the first time they meet in the XFL next year. I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be a decent game. Tua versus Daniel Jones in the XFL. More likely that's gonna happen than those two are NFL starters next year.
Hey, they got Tua at 3,800 and a half.
What'd you say?
Tua 3,800 and a half yards passing.
I mean, he could throw a 3-yard out to Tyreek Hill, and Hill could go for 70. You know what I mean? That's how they're going to have to get. That's how they're going to have to get their points, right?
Oh man, who got a $7 story? Oh man, and then who my other quarterback over in the NFC East? I said Jones, Prescott. Okay, I got all them guys, and then. Okay, Wentz, I said, all right. And then if we go over to the AFC East, let's see. No market for the Jets quarterback. Who else we got over there? AFC East. Who else we got over there? Help me out, y'all. Okay, Tua, I just said.
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones is at 38.50 and a half. See, here's one thing with Mac Jones. Mac Jones won a game with what? He only completed 3 passes, threw 6 passes, completed 3 passes. So like games like that, like hurt that total like so bad, And I can see Belichick pulling some shit again like that if it's a weather game, and he got a little bit more trust in Mac this year because Mac doesn't really do like he just one of them, one of those serviceable quarterbacks that he's not gonna turn the ball over, but he's not throwing for 5K. So I don't know about that.
Yeah, they want to run. I mean, that's a team that wants to run the ball too. Damian Harris, Ramondre Stevenson. I mean, I don't know. Like you said, with no McDaniels, I don't know, man. I'm a seller this year on all things New England.
All right, y'all. So that was some good AFC, NFC East talk. We're going to shift gears into some college picks we got for you guys, some win totals. So go ahead and throw that graphic up for us, Mr. Quan, please. First graphic that we got here. Michigan, over 9.5. Now, Shayne gave us this on last week's pod. Go ahead, Shayne. Give us your reason about this and why this is free money.
Yeah, this is my only college football future, and it's probably – and I love everything about it, and the lines stay the same that it's been for a while now, which tells you everything you know about how I move college football markets. Okay, so let's be clear for anybody that might not understand. This is regular season only. This does not count for playoffs. This does not count for bowl games. This is based on the 12-game the 12-game schedule, okay? So playoff games, bowl games do not count towards this at all. This is regular season. Over 9.5. Okay. We talked about with Philadelphia schedule thing, right? This Michigan schedule is a fucking joke, right? It's a fucking joke. I'm gonna break it down for you right now. First 3 games of the season, all non-conference, all at home against bad teams. They open against Colorado State. Then they're home against. This is at home. Then they're home against Hawaii, and they're home against UConn. UConn shouldn't even have a football program anymore. Like they should have axed it during COVID. Like just enough. You know how a lot of those programs got whacked during COVID. Like UConn football was just thrown in the fucking towel and said, you know what?
We just a basketball school.
We're signing off. Yeah, we're done. We're gonna give Hurley all the money in the world he needs to throw at these recruits in basketball. We're done. So okay, is there any prayer for a loss in those 3? No. Then they host Maryland. They're gonna be big. They're gonna be strong favorites in that game. They're gonna win. Then it gets a little dicey at Iowa, but we know they kicked the shit out of Iowa in the Big Ten championship, right? We know Iowa is like the Dallas Cowboys in a way that last year they lived off of turnover luck, right? Like that team was just and believe me, I lost against them too, and it was frustrating as fuck. That was a team that was just so fortunate on turnovers that they're going to take a step back. They're just not going to be as good. It's just they're going to regress. Michigan's a better team. The line will probably be short, but that's still a game that I'm confident Michigan's going to win. Then they're at Indiana. We know Indiana's bad. They're going to beat them. Then it gets a little interesting, right? So then we get back-to-back home games against Penn State. We think Penn State's going to be good, right? They get that game at home. They're going to be favored. Then they get a week off, which is important because then the following week they host Michigan State. Michigan State, another prime regression candidate. They are not going to be as good as they were last year. They lost, obviously, their star, Kenneth Walker, another team that lived off of serious good fortune last year. Michigan wins that game. So right now, I have Michigan through their first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. I got Michigan 8-0 right now, right? At Rutgers, 9-0. At home against Nebraska, 10-0. At home against Illinois, 11-0. Last game of the season at Columbus, 11-1. Okay, right? So now let's go back. Let's backtrack for a second because we need over 9.5. We need them to win 10 games. So they can lose one more game on that schedule, right? Where's the loss? Somebody make a case.
I ain't got one.
Somebody make a case. They can lose 2 games and I can still win this. Even if we say Ohio State is a loss. And look, I mean, it's still Michigan, Ohio State. You know, I think Ohio State's probably the best team in the country going into the season. But you know, still Michigan, Ohio State. And I'm just chalking that up as an auto L.
Do they? I might have missed it. Do they play Penn State this year?
Yeah. Penn State and Michigan State are both at home.
At home.
And I saw Michigan State. They get Penn State on October 15th, and then they get a bye, and then they host Michigan State. So they get a week off to prepare for Michigan State, a Michigan State team that I think is not going to be nearly as good as they were last year. So, like, you get some of these dog shit teams they're not going to lose to Nebraska, Illinois, Rutgers. Indiana, Maryland. You know what I'm saying? So if we're counting the Ohio State game as an L, then they can lose one more on that schedule and still win. Where is it? Like they would have to do is out of those tougher teams that they play, Penn State, Michigan State, at Iowa, they would just have to win 2 out of those 3, assuming they beat all those other shit teams. It's a strong play to me. It just is.
It's very strong. And when I saw Michigan's schedule, my brother's a huge Michigan fan. Kevin too. I said something suave. That's one of the worst schedules I've ever seen.
100%.
It is one of the worst schedules I've ever seen by our Power 5 school with as much talent as they got coming back. I think the question, I don't know why Vegas has it at 9. I don't know what they see. I don't know what that number. I don't know what it is. I know there's a lack of big names on the defensive side of the ball this year. Maybe that could be driving that case, but I mean they got.
Yeah, but let's give Harbaugh credit though. Like they're like in a way these other top teams. They just reload. They're going to be new guys that they're going to be strong. Like they're going to be strong on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I think Blake Corum at tailback is going to be one of the most exciting players in the country. Like that dude is incredible. That 9.5 is lock 'em up. That will in agreement with you. That's going to be a huge play for me going into the college football season.
Yeah, get down on that. Sure. It's widely available. Like I got it at Rivers over 9.5 minus 125. I mean, it's widely available on these other sites too. So that's to me that's a strong play. And again, like we're talking about little things that matter when you're looking at this. We think Penn State and Michigan State. Penn State's going to be better. I think Penn State's going to be good. Michigan State, they're not going to be as good. And Michigan gets both those teams at home. That matters. You know what I'm saying? It's especially in college, man. Would you rather have if you're betting Michigan over, would you rather get that Penn State game at the Big House or at the whatever the whiteout at Penn State? Like that's a tough place to play for sure, right? So I'm a Michigan Wolverine fan this year. I've got down a good amount on it.
All right, well, you said it on the pod. I went on and threw a couple bucks on that myself. So Michigan over 9.5. That's Shayne's pick. We'll go to the other part of the country in the non-continuous U.S. with my pick. So I got Hawaii, man, under 4.5 wins. And so here's why. Hawaii plays 13 games. So kind of a dangerous pick for a team that plays 13 games that are not bowl games or conference championship games like Shayne was saying. But they were 6-7 last year. They had like 18 returning starters. They had Ty Graham. Ty Graham's a solid coach, but the way he went out at you funny, non-contiguous. So they were 6-7 last year. Ty Graham was a solid coach, but the way he went out of Hawaii, I read a quote that he said he called a player annoying for playing a ukulele or some shit, and then he said the school was a third world country because they didn't have Dr. Pepper in the vending machines. So they got rid of him. Now they have Timmy Chang, the previous NCAA passing leader, the passing GOAT, and they had a lot of players transfer out. So they only got 5 returning starters, rookie coach, a rookie coach that, he played there. So, what's his pedigree, right? What is he really going to do? And so they play week 0 against Vanderbilt. They host Vandy. If they lose that game right there, that's going to pretty much like damn near guarantee that under at 4.5. But they're a dog right now, right around a touchdown or so in that game. So
yeah, Vandy's a 6.5 point favorite right now in that game.
Yeah, so they probably lose to Vandy at home. Then they go to Western Kentucky as a dog. Then, of course, the game that Shayne just talked about, the Michigan game at Michigan, that's a loss. So they should be 0-3. Then they got a cupcake game, which is also their homecoming against Duquesne. So they'll probably win there. If they're sitting at 1-3 through 4 games, they might have 4 more games that are coin flips that might be like within a field goal or a touchdown as far as the spread is concerned. And so that's at New Mexico State at New Mexico State, hosting Nevada, hosting Wyoming, and hosting UNLV. Now those 3 home games, and of course travel definitely matters out there to Hawaii. But let's keep it real. When has travel ever really made Hawaii a powerhouse? Like, I'm not worried about that shit. If they can win all those games, then I'm gonna tip my hat to the sports book for getting me. But I doubt that happens. And if they do go like 3-1 in those games and beat Vanderbilt too, they're gonna have to pull like a 2-score upset, to cost us that. So I'm feeling really good about that. And again, Timmy Shayne, a lot of players transferred out, 5 starters. I feel like this is a no-brainer. He has 13-game schedule, but they ain't beating Colorado State at Colorado State. They ain't beating Fresno State at Fresno State. And then their last game is at San Jose State. Only a couple games in the middle of that schedule, I see them even having a chance to win. This could be a really, really bad team. They might only beat Duquesne. And hell, they fucking lose to them, So they scheduled that for a win on their homecoming, and their homecoming is, like week 3. So
yeah, they're not going to win any of those road games. San Diego State, Fresno State, those are solid programs. They're not going to win those on the road. The only, Hawaii can get teams on goofy body clocks when they play on the island, but there's just not, like you said, I agree with you. There's just no talent there like there was in some years past where they were, putting up video game numbers, right? There's just that they don't really, that's just kind of died out.
Yeah, so that's my pick, y'all. Go ahead and win y'all some money. Hawaii under 4.5 at minus 145, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Aloha to more money. But don't aloha mean hello and goodbye, so shit. Hopefully it's the hello version to more money. And goodbye to wins for Hawaii this year. So lock that up. That's we'll revisit that at the end of the season. Shayne, we'll revisit yours mid-season because hell, they gonna get them 10 wins quick, I think. And then when Hawaii is 1-11 going into their last game, we'll pop some bottles over here. So that's what we got for win totals, NCAA. Y'all gonna win y'all some money. Thank y'all for joining. PJ, you did have a play also.
Hold on, let's not, let's get
a PJ play
here. He's got to play. He's got to play.
Yeah, my bad. I forgot PJ had to play. PJ, tell the people what your play is.
Absolutely, I got to play. I got Purdue, surprisingly, over 8 wins at minus 145 over at FanDuel. Like Michigan, if you go back and you look at Purdue's schedule, it is disgusting. It's abysmal. It's one of those schedules where they open the season week 1 or week 0 versus Penn State on a Thursday night in West Lafayette.
That's gonna be a fun one.
That's gonna be a fun game. That's gonna be an exciting game. And if they can win that, I think they can run the table. If you look at their schedule for the next 6-7 weeks, their next true challenger essentially would be Wisconsin mid-October. So Purdue could easily be at 6-7 wins come middle of the season with not much challenges to finish out the season. They avoid Michigan this year. They avoid Ohio State, and they avoid Michigan State. So like I said, the toughest game on their schedule is week 1 versus Penn State, and then they get Wisconsin in the middle of the season. I think look schedule-wise, could be 10-2 at the end of the season, just based off schedule. So
yeah, I'm looking at that opening game a week from this coming Thursday, so 2 weeks from yesterday. I can't believe it's already here. Penn State at Purdue. Penn State's a 3.5-point favorite. Man, I would not want to lay 3.5 in that. Your first game on the road against a conference team in a tough place to play. I mean, tough-ish place to play. Yeah, man. If Purdue can steal that game, then you're looking really good.
Yeah, I looked at their schedule when you had said that, Prentice. I like the pick, but I don't know, man. It's Purdue, one of them programs that you don't know what team gonna show up, man. Like, you might be mid-season, like, what the hell are they doing? So I'm not gonna throw nothing down on it yet. I probably regret it, but I do appreciate the research done because I hadn't even really had them on my radar. But then when I did look at their schedule, I saw that they didn't have a OSU or Michigan on there, and that's major for them. It's just that Penn State, man. I feel the same way about Penn State. I don't know what Penn State we gonna get.
Well, so, you don't know if Clifford's gonna get hurt or not. Like that's the thing. Like the guy can ball, and then he's gonna get hurt, and then it's Penn State should be good, but we have no idea if what we're getting from Clifford.
Right.
And James Franklin's a fucking cuck too. I can't,
right. I was like, yeah, James Franklin.
I can't stand betting on Penn State just because that fucking cocksucker. I really can't stand him.
All right. Well, there y'all have it. Fire the over on Michigan. Fire the under on Hawaii. Fire the over on Purdue. 2 Big Ten teams and a Mountain West team. So everybody tap in to Hawaii football this year. I'm gonna have people watching.
It's gonna be some late nights for you out in Dallas, sweating those 11 o'clock Hawaii kickoffs.
Bruh.
Yes, sir.
6 p.m. Hawaii time.
Hey, I've been there after a bad losing day when you need to chase that shit, and Hawaii's the only 11 o'clock channel. CBS Sports, you got no choice but to fire away before an NFL Sunday. Trust me, I've been there. I know.
Man,
I know
you know that's bad if you don't get your money back in the Pac-12 games.
That's right.
All right, y'all. Well, man, good to be back, man. Quality bets. Me and my partner in crime, Shayne, gonna be committing robberies of the sports book all year. P-Jack, thank you for gracing us with your presence, brother. We appreciate your picks and everything you had to add. Me and the rest of the Quality Media / Quality Sports team, everybody have a good weekend and go hit your book, man. Go hit your book right now. We're getting y'all some money. All right. Peace out, everybody.